Welcome back. In this session, we'll learn about how to create a table. From our earlier lessons, we learned about reading data, inserting data, modify and deleting data from a table. Also, we learned about schema creation, data types. So now we are fully ready to deal with creating tables. This is the reason I kept create table in the later lessons. Otherwise, I can start the create table session very beginning, but we need to understand how to read data, insert data, all these things, so that when we are creating a table, the lesson will be very smooth. So let's open SQL console. So I am opening the SQL console from system. Here, right click, open SQL, or click the SQL button in the menu bar. Okay. So the basic syntax to create a table is create table and then table name. So I am giving first table, the table name as first table, and in the brackets we need to mention all the field names. So we'll start with simple fields like ID, integer type, name, and varchar. Let's say 10, length. So spaces, tabs, this doesn't make any difference in the code. So just to make the code visible, like a friendly readable format. Okay. So create table is the keywords we need to use for creating a table, and this is the table name, and in the brackets you need to mention all the fields what you want and the data type of those fields. So I am creating ID and name. So each field needs to be separated by a comma, and the last field should not have any comma. Okay. So let's run this command statement. So command runs successfully and table created. Okay, so let's see where this table is created. So our schema is T4H. So let's open the T4H. And if you see, the first table is not here. So let's find out where this table exists, in which schema. So you can expand each schema and check where this table exists. Like here I have another schema test, system schema, sys schema, sflight schema, dev schema. So instead of searching each and every schema where this table is existing, so we can leverage another system table. Like in our earlier session for schemas, we used a table called schemas. So like that we can use another table to find our table in which schema. Select star from the table name is tables, and our table name is where table underscore name is equal to, so first table is a string value, so we need to keep in single quotes, first table. Okay, let's run this statement. So here the table name we restricted with first table, and this first table is there in system schema. Okay, the reason why this table created in system schema. So the first question, because I opened this SQL window from here. So when you open SQL window from the system option, like what should I call this? From the root node, you can say from the system root node. When you open the SQL window from the root node, whatever the objects you are going to create, those will go into the default schema of user. So right now I connected with username called system, and I open the SQL window from the root node of system. So the default node will be system schema. Default schema will be system schema. So if you see here, you can see the first table is in system schema. So that's the reason the place from where you are opening SQL window makes difference. It's not always same. If you open from here, the default will be your system schema. If you open from any schema, the default will be that schema only. Okay, let me show that. Okay, instead of opening SQL window from here, you can do another thing. Like I opened SQL window from here, right? So if I add schema name here, t4h.first-table, then this statement will push this table to t4h, and it will bypass the system schema. So let's do with that. So I executed this command and it successfully executed. And if we go to t4h and let's refresh, see, the first table is here. Okay, so that's how the schema name concatenated with the table name makes give the proper information to the statement, create table statement, where this table should create. Okay, so that's good. And let's open this first table. If you observe here, this is the table name what we gave, and this is the schema name, but the table type is row store table, and we didn't mention anything about table type. That's why by default system will take row store table. And these are the two fields what we created: ID, name. Okay, so how to create a column store table then? The next question. Okay, so let me take this statement, and even you can see, if I run this command now, the first table is existing in system and t4h schema. So the table name can be a duplicate if the schema name is different. So you can create same table in multiple schemas, because always the table name is referred by schema name concatenation with the table name. That's why the combination of these two become unique. That's why you can create same table in multiple schemas. Okay, let's see how to create a column store table then. Okay, so let me take this code and I'm closing this SQL window. So this time I'm opening the SQL window from t4h schema node, and I'm using the same code, and this time I'm removing the t4h, because now I opened the SQL window from t4h node. As I said earlier, the SQL node from where you are opening makes a difference. So I opened from t4h, I removed the schema name, and I'm going to add another keyword called column table. So this is going to create a column table, and yeah, t4h is not required, so automatically this will create a table in t4h schema, even though we are not mentioning the t4h because we opened SQL from the t4h node. So okay, table name should be different because already first table is there in t4h schema. Column table, I'll use column table, and if I run this command, successfully created. Refresh, here the column table. So if you observe the icons of these two tables, first table and column table, the first table horizontal row is highlighted here in the middle, and in the column table the middle column is highlighted. So you can differentiate table based on the icon itself, but alternatively you can double click the table and see whether this is a column store or row store table. So you can identify table whether it's a row store or column store by using two options. One is the icon of the table, and second one is the type of the table in the definition of table. So when you double click the table, it will open the definition of a table. Okay, so now we know how to create a column store table. So let's insert some data into this table and see how it works. So I can write an insert statement which we learned in our earlier session, and alternatively you can right click here, generate the select statement or insert statement. Okay, so I'm selecting the insert statement. Insert into T4H. The system will defaultly concatenate schema name. So insert into T4H column table values. So for numerical values, single quotes not required. So ID is our integer, so I am putting 1, and second column is name, so I am giving name 1. So name 1 is a string value, so that's why it is in single quotes. Okay, so let's run this statement. Perfect. So record is inserted, and you can preview the data, open contents, and we have ID 1, name 1. Okay, what happens if I run these statements multiple times? For example, I am executing this 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So I executed 9 times, and before that 1 time. So it should be holding 10 records. Okay. So the problem here is we have 10 records. All records are same. If the requirement is something like we should not have any duplicates on ID, then the simple solution is primary key. Correct. So primary key will solve this problem when we want to eliminate duplicates on any particular column. Okay, so this is our table create statement, right? So let's create another table by using primary key. So I'll go for PK primary key table, ID integer, primary key. If I mention this keyword primary key, both are together, like both words become one keyword. So ID integer, and I am mentioning this ID column as primary key, and name same varchar 10. So if I run this statement, okay, this is created table. Refresh. So primary key table is created. Let's open the definition of primary key table. So here ID integer, this is a column store data types. You can ignore those for now. So ID integer, and the key is enabled. So by default, any primary key field is going to be a not null. So that means null values are not going to accept into the primary key column. Okay, and the second one is name and varchar no change. If we open our column table which we created earlier, the key field is not enabled and not null also not enabled. So I can insert, okay, where is my insert statement? Okay, here I can insert null values also in column table. So if I executed that, and if I refresh, I can see null values also in the ID. So I can insert null values, anything, if I don't define any restrictions like a primary key or anything. So let's close this column table. It's not required anymore now. Let's focus on our primary key table. So primary key table, and the definition of primary key table is a key and not null. So let's try to insert some data into this primary key table, and what happens. Insert into table name pk underscore table, and values id 1, and I'm putting the name 1 again. So let's run this command. I ran this command, and let's see the data preview. Okay, sorry, primary key data preview. Okay, now we have one record id name 1. What happens if I run this command once again? So unique constraint violated. So when you define a primary key on any field, and that field should hold values uniquely, so duplicates are not allowed. Okay, so if I put 2 and I'm keeping the second field as name 1, no change. So if I run this command, it's executed. So like that, you can increase the numbers or change the numbers, but it should not be a duplicate when you are creating primary key, when you are inserting data into a primary key table. Okay, 3 records inserted, that is fine. So if I want to insert a null value, so for example, I don't know what is the id, then I want to insert a null value. Let's see what happens. Cannot insert null or update to null, because if you see the primary key table definition, not null is enabled. X means it's enabled. So primary key defaultly comes with not null. So what we understand is primary key is equal to unique plus not null. So primary key always works as a accept only unique values, and it will not accept null values. What if we want unique values? Sorry, we want unique plus null. So if we need unique value plus null value, primary key is unique plus not null, but in some cases we need unique value. If no unique value, then null should be accepted. So for this we have another constraint called unique. Unique is the another constraint which allows only unique values and null values. So we'll see that in the next session, and we have many other constraints, so we'll cover in the next session.